We came up with the term generation and a half basically because it's very specific to our situation. Your typical first, second generation stories involves a founder of a business, and he or she builds it up over 20 years, very successful, and the next generation comes in and hopefully the kid doesn't screw it up. It was different here at Schaefer. I joined Dad in 1983. He had just released his 78 cab in 1981, so when I joined him, it was fairly early on in the process. And Schaefer at that time wasn't that well established, so we think that together the two of us kind of built the business together, and hopefully pretty successfully, and it's been a lot of fun. So instead of first, second generation, we call it our generation and a half story.
Or 1.5. Or 1.5. And I'm the one.
You're the one and I'm just the 0.5.
Hey, you're the 0.5, okay. So in 1982, we needed another winemaker. We, after a lot of back and forth, we persuaded Doug to leave his job as a cellar rat, and then come on board. And we had a very upbeat consultant at the time, so we figured we could cut it. So between Doug and our consultant and myself, we started off. And beginning in '83, you came on board, right?
January '83.
January '83.
Scared to death.
And Doug inherited some wine from the previous winemaker, which wasn't what we needed. In fact, in the 1981 vintage, we didn't even release that first Cabernet because we were concerned about our long-term reputation. And so from there, we went day by day.
It was day by day. It was. I walked into this place and. Again, I didn't know all the answers, but I knew some warning signs, and there were some big warning signs. It was pretty scary. I had a lot of sleepless nights. It was like, this place is, we're in needs of lots of fixing and working on the wines, and I didn't necessarily know how to do it, and that was really scary. And meanwhile, I'm coming to the family deal, and it's like, you know, Dad's betting on me, and it's like, oh man. Dad was tremendously supportive. Randy Mason, who taught me how to work a cellar at Lake Spring, came over and was a dear friend. And I'd have my, once or twice a week calls to Randy. Randy, you gotta come over and take a look at this. I've never seen anything like this before. And we'd chuckle and we muddled through, but it was...
you may not remember, but you sent a letter of resignation.
I think I've tried to resign 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I have that letter of resignation, which we promptly ignored, and you kept right on going. But it was touch and go.
The 80s were tough, and there were a couple of times I walked into Dad's office. I said, we're done. And he said, what do you mean we're done? I said, I'm blowing it. I'm screwing up the family business. The wines aren't that good, and I was like, I'm getting out of here because I'm not the guy. We need somebody else. And Dad would sit at his desk and listen to me kind of ramble on, and when I was done, he'd say, are you finished? I said, yeah. And he goes, okay, well, what'd you do wrong with that wine? I said, oh, I used the wrong barrels. I should never use that filter. I picked too soon. And I'd rattle off all these things I did wrong, and Dad would just look at me and say, well, don't make the same mistake twice. Now get back to work. So he wouldn't let me quit. I had to keep trying. The 1.5 is very exciting for us. We're going back to our roots. We're getting another Stag's Leap District cab, which is what we're all about. So now both our Cabernets are Stag's Leap District, which we're very excited about. It's a better quality grapes, better wine, and that's what we're trying to do here. It also speaks to the whole idea of family and the family winery. And after 27 years, we're still a family operation. No outside investors, no corporate ownership, and we're real proud of that. And real proud of what we've built here with the help of a great staff and great team. So we're very lucky, and 1.5 just kind of pulls it all together for us.